Asia Pacific of T. Soja and Associates. T. Soja and Associates is a telecommunications consulting firm based in Boston, and thank you very much for your time today. We just heard Eunice pose a number of questions to our viewers, and one of them, and one of the big ones, is of course, how is Hutch going to make money from this, and how is it actually going to blend it into its 3G wireless infrastructure? Can you answer some of those questions for us?
I think it's a very good question how Hutchison is going to make money on this, and in reality it's a supply-demand issue, and what we're seeing at this point is what Global Crossing sells is bandwidth. It's what we call capacity, but it's bandwidth. It's what the internet runs on, it's what email runs on, and particularly now broadband applications run on. So in reality, what I like to say is there's not a consumer out there who's saying, no, that's enough. I don't need any more capacity. I don't want any more. 2 megs to my desktop. Oh, stop there. That's plenty. It just doesn't happen. So I think it is a good business. The business of bandwidth is quite solid. Now what's happening in the marketplace is the carriers, they are the customers for Global Crossing's product. They aren't buying right now, and the reason they're not is because of the global marketplace. Shareholders say, hold on, we want to see as much revenue, as much positive balance sheet as we can. The chief financial officers are saying, hold on operational expenses. People really aren't spending money, which means that they're using what they have, the bandwidth that they have now, to a higher degree than they ever have before. And as a result, they're holding off their purchases for as long as possible. Another thing that's happening in the marketplace is prices are falling. So it makes sense for them to be holding off and instead purchasing really just-in-time inventory rather than going forward and buying the big chunks of capacity that we've seen them purchase in the past.
So you're saying there really are some difficulties in this particular segment of the market right now, and I guess this is really well illustrated by the fact that it sold off. Global Crossing sold off for $250 million. Back in January, it actually valued itself at $22 billion. So what does this say about assets in telco land? Should there be a lot of telco assets out there that are scared right now?
Boy, yeah, sure. I think pretty much everyone is scared right now. I mean, when it comes to asset valuation, it's so nebulous at this point. While we look at the demand that's out there, still looking at those assets, as we can see, they're going for pennies on the dollar. Although I think this is quite a good investment. I'm not sure that this will maintain long term in terms of the pennies on the dollar. But I think as the market starts to come back, we will see assets valued a bit higher going on. But yes, this is quite a statement, and as a first drop, it's pretty significant.
So this is kind of ironic, because didn't Global Crossing actually have difficulty selling its assets in the first place? Why do you reckon that was?
You mean they're what they sell, the bandwidth?
No, actually, like creditors selling off Global Crossing.
Well, I think it's been very difficult for anyone to really value appropriately, and I think we know that there are a lot of companies who are looking at Global Crossing, and still are some who are interested in portions that are left over, and but it is just very difficult to value, and I think everyone is quite tentative about being the first in the water. It's a big move on the part of Hutchison, and actually ST Telemedia even bigger. They are not the aggressive player that Hutchison has been in the marketplace. So I think this is going to be very solid for them as well.
Okay, so solid for both Hutch and for STT. I wonder if the creditors are kicking themselves, though, considering they rejected that initial offer, $750 million.
I would think so. If it were me, I'd be kicking myself.
Okay, we have to leave it there, Anne. Thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Anne LeBoutillier with T. Soja and Associates joining us here in our Singapore studio. And coming up on the